Titletown Talk with Wayne Mouser. 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 Yeah!
I think they've been practicing. I could be wrong about that, but sounding good. Wayne Mouser here on Titletown Talk here at Chillers in Appleton. Our guest tonight is offensive lineman number 79, Josh Walker, and also, I will say this, tight end. How does that make you feel?
It feels good. You know, I got my action actually yesterday at playing jumbo tight end, so it was neat.
You were born in Knoxville, Tennessee, but didn't spend much time there. You live in Alloway, but you went to Ray County High School.
Ray
and
County.
How far away from Knoxville is that?
You're looking at about an hour 15.
So kind of a small area?
Very small town.
And how big about, would you say?
It's definitely smaller than Green Bay. Very small town. Probably the city where I'm from, we have a red light.
Okay. Well, at least you have one, right?
We've got one.
Okay. 3-year starter on the offensive and defensive line, named to the Tennesseans 2008 Dream Team and the best of the preps. 41 pancakes that year, and that's not how many you ate, but how many times you creamed somebody, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Knockdowns.
Senior season, his team went 10-3. Did you go far in the playoffs, state playoffs that year?
We went to the quarterfinals. Yep.
Okay, would you say it was a pretty good season then?
Yeah, we had a good season. We lost to a perennial powerhouse, probably nobody up here would know of, called Maryville High School. They were on a 70-some-odd game winning streak when they beat us, actually. So we lost to a good team.
70 games in a row.
Yeah.
They take their football seriously in the South, you know?
No question.
Now, you also lettered in track and field as a shot put and discus thrower. How far could you throw?
I would throw shot about 45, probably about 45. I wasn't really good at the disc. I would throw the disc about 140. I only did it my senior year. My O-line coach was actually the shot put and discus coach, so he taught me into coming out and doing that.
Now, you're 6'5", enlisted at 328. What were you like in high school?
I was probably 6'4" and 290 pounds my senior year. Probably came in at 260 pounds my freshman year.
Mm-hmm. So you put on some weight in those 4 years and
Definitely
lifted a lot of weights.
Yeah, I lifted a little bit of weight.
But high school, a pretty enjoyable experience?
Yeah, definitely. Like you were talking about, I'm from a small town, so it was a nice atmosphere.
We take some audience questions during this segment, so let's do that right now. Let's go out to Linda for number one.
Thanks, Wayne. Our question comes from Nate from Kimberly.
What are some of your hobbies?
I enjoy fishing. I like to golf. Also, I like to hunt. Pretty much anything outside. When I get away from work, I like to be active. I like to get out and do some stuff outdoors because I don't really have a lot of free time. So.
Well, this is a great area to hunt and fish and play golf. A ton of courses in the area.
Absolutely, and I've got the opportunity to play at quite a few golf courses around here, and it's definitely nice.
What's your handicap?
I don't know. We just we try and keep it under 100, so that's all I know.
Well, that's not too bad. I wish I could. Okay, back out to Linda.
Brittany from Shiacton.
Do you have any idea what this Sunday's Seahawks game is going to be like?
I know it's going to be full of action, and I know it's going to be two good football teams competing against each other, so it's going to go down to the wire. It's going to be a good team, or it's going to be a good game. Got two good football teams. Should be a good one.
Last year, the Packers losing at Seattle, and then, of course, having that been denied the home field advantage because of that loss, going out there and then losing in the NFC Championship game. So you want to win this one very badly because down the road it could be very instrumental in what happens on the road to the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. We need this one.
All right, back out to Linda.
Jesse from Appleton.
What have you learned from the other Packer linemen?
It's crazy, getting this opportunity to play with guys like Josh Sitton, TJ Lane, Brian Balaga. Those are you could talk about those guys being some of the best offensive linemen in the National Football League. And as far as the two younger guys, David Bakhtiari, Corey Lindsley, they're well on their way. What a great group to learn from. Great group.
You've got a nice, tight unit don't you?
Absolutely, absolutely. We all get along really well.
Pal around a little bit off the field, too.
A little bit, a little bit.
Now, when you guys go out to eat dinner, who picks up the tab? Is it like rookies and second-year guys?
Nah, we play a game called credit card roulette, and you put your credit card in the waitress's hat, and you have her pull out the
Really?
card, and whoever's the lucky person who gets pulled out first usually pays for the meal. So
You know, it pays to know the waitresses.
yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
All right, back out for another question.
Molly from Appleton.
Is it any easier being a 6'5" tackle or a 6'5" guard?
Wow, it's definitely easier being a 6'5" tackle. You know, inside being tall is not as good as you would think because, especially at this level, it's a game of leverage. And inside those guys, especially in the interior portion of the D line, are usually shorter, squattier, heavier guys. When you go outside, you're going to have the athletic freaks, if you will. You know, you're 6'6", 250, 270-pound guys. You know, so outside you want that length. Inside you want it as well, but the height. You know, I'd love to be a little shorter playing guard, but it is what it is. You know.
Is it tougher, obviously, to defend a defensive lineman or a linebacker? Let's say if you played against Julius Peppers or Clay Matthews.
Those are two really good pass rushers you're talking about. And as far as pass rushing wise, yeah, it's a little bit easier to block the guys on the interior as far as speed goes. And for me, speed's the hardest thing to defend. So definitely an outside linebacker rush type defender.
And the league is built on speed.
Without a doubt.
Back out to the audience.
Andy from Oshkosh.
Josh, what did you do in the offseason to prepare for training camp this year?
I got with Mark Lavatt and Thaddeus Jackson and Chris Gizzi and Grant and all those guys in our weight room, and I actually stayed here and trained here for the offseason. And my the biggest thing that I was conscious about was getting my footwork right and ready for playing outside, you know, playing tackle. Before we left for the offseason, James Campen, our offensive line coach, you know, he prepared me and said, hey, look, you're going to have to play tackle. You know, you're a backup guy, you're going to have to be a swing guy. And I took it to heart. I got with those guys, and I improved to the point where I could play that position.
Is it tough when you're told that you're going to be a backup guy to get fired up? I mean, the writing was there. I mean, they had a lot of starters on the offensive line. Basically, everyone signed. So how does that affect the psyche?
You know, it's just you got to have confidence in yourself, you know, and you got to know your role. And you know they have their 5 guys, and that's fine. And you got to have respect for those guys. They played a lot of really good football. So, you know, I know my role, and I'm gonna try and do it as best as I can. And I know that I need to play more than one position. So.
And you also know that if one of those guys goes down, you're
Next
in there.
man up. Next man up.
One more audience question.
Dylan from Grand Chute.
Do you model yourself off of another offensive lineman?
I wouldn't say I model myself after someone, but I really look up to those guys like Orlando Pace and Jonathan Ogden, those guys of the past. I really have a lot of respect for those guys. But I wouldn't say I model myself after anybody.
You went to Middle Tennessee State, the Blue Raiders.
Blue Raiders.
Did you have an opportunity to go someplace else?
Yeah, I had a couple college offers, but you know, I ended up going to Middle Tennessee. I had a good friend there, and he was telling me good things, and I just felt at home there. So, you know, I was 2.5 hours away, so I went to Middle Tennessee.
49 games there. You were a redshirt freshman, and you started 34, so you saw action right away.
Yeah. About my redshirt freshman year, halfway through it, is when I got my spot.
And in 2010, you played all 13 games with one start. That was your freshman year. First start versus North Texas.
Yep.
Butterflies?
Yeah, a couple butterflies, definitely. It was just like the other day, you know, it was fun to get that first action, you know.
8 starts in 2011, 11 games. Then you were 12 for 12 in 2012 and 2013, started all 13 games. So
Yep.
by that time, the seasoned veteran, and you weren't hurt at all in college. And not to say that, knock on wood. But I mean,
right.
you've avoided that so far.
Yep, not hurt enough to not be in the game, yeah,
You're always playing with a few hurts, though, right?
without a doubt.
Okay. 2014, non-drafted free agent, originally signed with Indianapolis. Talk about that experience.
You know, it was a fun experience. You know, that's a good football club. You know, they're really well coached, and I enjoyed my time there and made a lot of really good friends that I still keep in touch with. So yeah,
And
it was good.
you were waived on the final cut. Mm-hmm. So you had an opportunity there at the end. Mm-hmm. Did you think you were going to make it?
Yeah, I thought I was going to make it, but in this league, I've found pretty quick in my short time that you can never assume. So, yeah.
You were signed to the Colts practice squad then and then released on September 16th. And then the Packers picked you up, practice squad on September 23rd. A week later, and then you're in Green Bay.
Absolutely.
Talk about coming to Packerland.
It was awesome, probably about a day after my waiver claim cleared, my agent was talking to guys, and I went and worked out for Kansas City about 2 days after that. And they didn't really tell me anything. They were kind of beating around the bush. Well, I knew Green Bay wanted me out the next day, so I got on a plane the next day, came to Green Bay, had a good workout, and they offered me. So, I signed with them that day.
The decision was easy, especially when you're out of work, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Our guest tonight is Josh Walker, number 79, Packers offensive lineman. And we have one segment left. When we come back in segment number 3, we will discuss a few more things about Josh and his being a Packer, and then talk about the big game this Sunday night at Lambeau Field, the Packers and the Saints. You're watching Titletown Talk on My New 32 here at Chillers in Appleton.